welcome back to It's an Inside Job podcast. I'm your host, Jason Lim. Now, this podcast is dedicated to helping you to help yourself and others to become more mentally and emotionally resilient so you can be better at bouncing back from life's inevitable setbacks. Now, on It's an Inside Job, we decode the science and stories of resilience into practical advice, skills, and strategies that you can use to impact your life and those around you. Now, with that said, let's slip into the stream. Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to It's an Inside Job. I'm your host, Jason Lim, and welcome to the first episode of Season 6. Now, for those who may not know, a season on this podcast is 6 months. So this season will be running from July 1st of 2024 to the end of the year, December 31st. So today's episode is going to be solo piloted by myself. And we are going to be diving into a fascinating exploration of how our thoughts shape our perceptions and interactions with the world around us. Have you ever wondered whether the narratives your mind creates are true reflections of reality, or just merely distortions influenced by your biases and your fears? So in this episode, we'll uncover the subtle ways our thoughts can mislead us and share practical strategies to gain clarity and emotional stability. We'll discuss the concept that thoughts are not always facts and how recognizing their transient, often illusory nature, well, it can help us cultivate a more resilient and a balanced approach to life. So whether you're looking to enhance your mental health, improve your relationships, or understand yourself better, this episode is packed with insights on harnessing the power of your mind to create a healthier, more fulfilling reality. So join me today as we discover how to transform our mental landscape and improve our overall well-being. So with that said, I'll meet you on the other side of this introduction as we slip into the stream of episode 1 of a brand new season. When I work with many of my different clients, I talk about the human operating system, which usually goes from head to heart to hand. That means from thinking to feeling to doing. Now, for most of us, this internal narrative that is our thoughts, well, we're not always aware of it. And in most cases, we don't need to. It's in those stressful and challenging times where we should step back. And so before head, heart to hand, well, that becomes self-awareness. So today's episode, we're going to look at 12 different aspects of thoughts, feelings, and our perceptions and how we can master them to become more resilient, to have more equanimity and better well-being. Thoughts are not facts. It's crucial to remember that our thoughts do not necessarily represent reality. For example, you might come out of a job interview feeling like you performed poorly. You replay every small awkward moment, convinced you failed. Yet, there might be ample evidence suggesting that the interviewers were impressed. This discrepancy between our perceptions and reality is rooted in cognitive distortions, a term used in cognitive behavioral therapy to describe irrational thought patterns that often skew our emotions and behaviors. Realizing that thoughts are not facts is a powerful realization. It allows us to question and adjust these skewed perceptions, which can profoundly impact our emotional well-being. For instance, the next time you fall into the trap of negative self-assessment, remember that you have the power to pause and ask yourself, what evidence do I have to support this thought? And is there another way to look at this situation? Now, this practice, cognitive restructuring, well, it can help reduce stress and boost your self-esteem, leading to healthier emotional responses and better mental health. By actively challenging our thoughts and considering multiple perspectives, well, we improve our resilience and emotional intelligence and open ourselves up to a more balanced and fulfilling emotional life. Reflect on your own experiences. When was the last time a negative thought clouded your judgment? How might questioning this thought change your perspective? The illusion of thought. Our thoughts can shape our perception of reality, sometimes leading us to see things that aren't there at all. Consider the classic mistake of seeing a rope and mistaking it for a snake in dim light. This misinterpretation triggers fear, even though there's no real threat. Similarly, optical illusions exploit this tendency by tricking our brains into perceiving something different from what is present. This is just one example of how our thoughts shape our perception of reality. Now, this phenomenon isn't limited to visual misperceptions. It also extends to how we interpret personal interactions, how we recall memories, or predict the future. For example, suppose someone returns your phone call later. In that case, you might conclude they're ignoring you, creating feelings of rejection based on an assumed scenario rather than the facts. Psychologically, these errors occur because our brain tries to piece together the best guess of reality with limited information. It's a helpful shortcut that helps us navigate the world quickly, but can also lead to significant misunderstandings. Understanding the illusory nature of our thoughts, well, it can help us step back and question our first impressions. This awareness is precious in managing anxiety and reducing conflict in relationships. Mindfulness is helpful for cultivating a healthier perspective. It teaches us to observe our thoughts without immediately accepting them as genuine. So, the next time you find yourself reacting strongly to a situation, pause and consider whether your response is based on reality or an illusion of your making. This reflective practice sharpens your perception and enhances your emotional intelligence, making you better equipped to respond to life's challenges with clarity and confidence. The fleeting nature of thoughts. Thoughts are inherently fleeting, constantly shifting like clouds moving across the sky. This transient nature can be a powerful ally in managing emotions, particularly stressful situations. For instance, consider the nervousness you might feel before giving a speech. Recognizing that this anxiety is merely a passing state, like a cloud passing by, well, it can significantly alleviate the pressure and help you maintain composure. Now, mindful meditation offers a practical technique to harness this understanding. Practicing mindfulness teaches you to observe your thoughts as they arise and pass without becoming attached to them. This approach helps you to see that thoughts come and go, no matter how intense. It's like watching a train pass by without needing to jump aboard. Incorporating mindfulness into your daily routine can be as simple as taking a few minutes each day to sit quietly, breathe deeply, and observe your thoughts. Now, each time a thought of worry or anxiety comes up, note it as, it's just a thought. It's my brain doing this. And then bring your attention back to your breath. You can also focus on the sensations in your body or the sounds around you to anchor yourself in the present moment. Now, this practice reduces stress, enhances your overall emotional resilience, making you less reactive to the ups and downs of daily life. Adopting a mindful approach to your thoughts can transform your relationship with your mind. This helps manage transient emotions and fosters a deep, more compassionate understanding of yourself, leading to better emotional stability and peace of mind. Perceptions and reality. Our thoughts significantly influence how we perceive and interact with the world, often colored by our biases and expectations. Now, this becomes particularly evident during disagreements, where two parties might interpret the situation differently based on their unique perspectives. For example, one person might perceive a comment as offensive in a heated discussion, but at the same time, another might view it as a constructive criticism. This divergence often stems from different personal histories, cultural backgrounds, or emotional states. Perspective-taking exercises or role-playing, well, it can efficiently navigate these biases and enhance our understanding of reality. For example, you could imagine how your friend might feel in a situation that's causing them stress, or you could try to understand why a colleague might have a different opinion on a work-related issue. Such practices involve stepping into someone else's shoes and attempting to see the world from their viewpoint. This helps reduce conflicts and enriches our interpersonal relationships by fostering empathy and deeper connections. Implementing these exercises can be quite straightforward. For instance, in a group setting, participants could be asked to role-play a scenario from multiple viewpoints. Each participant could be asked to role-play a scenario from multiple viewpoints. Now, each participant explores not only their feelings and reactions, but also interprets and reacts to the perspectives of others. This can illuminate how subjective interpretations of reality can be and highlight the importance of communication and empathy in understanding each other better. By regularly practicing perspective taking, we can break down our biases, better appreciate the complexities of human interactions, and respond more thoughtfully to the world around us. This not only makes us more effective communicators, but also more compassionate individuals. The creative power of thought. Thoughts are not just reflections of our experiences. They actively shape our emotions and behaviors. Positive affirmations like, "I'm capable of handling challenges," are powerful tools that can transform our mindset, boost confidence, and enhance overall performance. Now, neuroscience supports this idea, showing that positive thoughts activate brain areas associated with motivation and positive emotions. Now, the placebo effect, a well-documented phenomenon in medical research, well, it provides a compelling case study of how powerful thoughts can be. It refers to the phenomenon where patients given a treatment with no therapeutic value, well, they often experience tangible improvements in their health if they believe they are receiving an effective intervention. This effect underscores the profound impact of belief and expectations on our physical health and psychological well-being. To illustrate the practical applications of this concept, consider the experience of athletes who use positive affirmation to improve their performance. Studies have shown that athletes who engage in positive self-talk are more likely to stay motivated during competition and recover from setbacks more quickly. Similarly, in the workplace, individuals who affirm their capabilities are often better equipped to handle stress and achieve their goals. Detaching from thought. Understanding that we are separate from our thoughts is crucial to achieving emotional stability. When we see our thoughts as distinct from our sense of self, it becomes easier to manage our reactions and maintain a healthy level of self-esteem, especially during challenging times. Now, one effective way to cultivate this understanding is through mindful meditation. This practice encourages us to view our thoughts as if they were leaves floating on a river. They appear, drift along, and eventually disappear, all without defining who we are. This analogy helps us to appreciate the transient nature of our thoughts. Now, this detachment is vital because it allows us to recognize that our thoughts are often fleeting and not necessarily an accurate reflection of reality. For instance, consider a moment when you're faced with a high-pressure task and a thought pops up saying, "I can't do this." Well, recognizing the statement is just as a thought, a temporary subjective interpretation of your abilities, well, it helps prevent it from overtaking your emotions and undermining your confidence. By observing our thoughts without attachment, we can see them for what they are, mere thoughts, not imperatives or truths. This perspective is liberating and promotes a healthier, more balanced emotional life. It empowers us to respond to life's challenges with greater calm and less distress, enhancing our overall well-being. The spotlight of consciousness. Consciousness is crucial in how we experience and interact with our thoughts. It functions like a spotlight that highlights specific thoughts and brings them to the forefront of our minds. By consciously directing this spotlight toward positive experience, well, we can significantly influence our emotional states and enhance our overall well-being. Now, the neurological foundations of consciousness and attention explain why this strategic focus is practical. Neuroscience research has identified that brain regions such as the prefrontal cortex and the parietal lobes, well, they actively filter and prioritize sensory information and internal thoughts. This filtering process enables us to concentrate on the positive aspects of our experiences, elevating our mood and boosting our motivation. For example, focusing on a project's successful outcomes rather than dwelling on the minor setbacks encountered along the way, well, it helps us maintain a positive outlook and motivates us. This conscious shift in focus, well, it profoundly impacts our psychological state, fostering resilience against stress and adversity. I often guide clients to use a 80-20 cognitive model to implement this approach effectively. Now, this involves considering the long-term objectives and the short-term actions needed to achieve these goals. Once the overall objective is set, spend about 20% of your time verifying that you're on the right course, that you have the right direction and orientation. And then devote 80% of your effort to the steps that will bring you closer to your goal. The 80-20 model is not just about strict adherence to these percentages, it's just a framework to help you manage and invest your attention wisely. Transformative insights. Insights have the transformative power to shift our understanding and behaviors dramatically, much like suddenly realizing why a plant isn't thriving, perhaps due to a lack of sunlight or improper watering, can change how we care for it. Insights into our lives can prompt significant improvements. These moments of clarity often come unexpectedly but can impact how we think, feel, and act. To illustrate the profound impacts of insight, incorporating narratives about personal or historical epiphanies can be very inspiring. For instance, consider the story of a scientist who, after years of struggling with an experimental problem, experiences a sudden breakthrough while walking in a park. This moment of insight solves a complex problem and revolutionizes an entire field of study. Similarly, personal stories such as someone realizing the root cause of their stress comes from overcommitment rather than time management, well, that can resonate deeply. This realization might lead them to say no more often, enhancing their quality of life and reducing stress. Expressive writing and discussing your thoughts with a trusted confidant are powerful tools for achieving deeper personal insights. Firstly, translating abstract thoughts and emotions into words acts as a catalyst for understanding. Writing or speaking helps you organize and clarify your thoughts, often leading to unexpected realizations. For instance, journaling about a stressful day can uncover underlying anxieties or stresses that you weren't consciously aware of. Secondly, when you articulate your thoughts to someone else, you effectively explain them to the listener and to yourself. This dual perspective can provide valuable insights as you hear and reflect on your expressions. Such practices help you articulate your feelings and enhance your ability to understand and process your emotions, leading to greater emotional intelligence and self-awareness. Now, these narratives highlight how insights can lead to better strategy in both personal and professional contexts. They underscore the importance of being open to these moments of clarity and actively reflecting on our experiences to foster them. By paying attention to what both succeeds and fails, we prepare the ground for insightful breakthroughs that can dramatically transform our understanding and improve our actions. Resilience and innate health. Innate mental health and resilience are foundational concepts affirming our natural capacity to recover and thrive, even in adversity. This inherent strength, akin to how our bodies heal from physical injuries, well, it equips our minds with the resilience to overcome psychological stressors and challenges. Understanding how insights can transform our behaviors and perceptions highlights the relevance of this inner strength. Just as we naturally adapt to a physical injury like a sprained ankle by shifting weight or using crutches to allow healing, well, our minds can also adjust to reduce psychological stress. However, unlike a visible ankle sprain, a brain strain is less apparent, making it crucial to recognize and address. Duress, or negative stress, particularly when prolonged, can heavily impact our thinking and weigh down our emotions. Removing or managing the sources of such duress allows our minds to return to a natural state of equilibrium. Now, this recovery is driven by neuroplasticity, the brain's remarkable ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. With proper practice, such as cognitive reframing, where we change how we perceive and react to situations, well, we can enhance our mental resilience and improve our capacity to handle stress. For example, viewing a challenging job as an opportunity to learn rather than a threat to our competence, it can significantly alter our emotional and physiological responses to stress, demonstrating the power of our adaptive mental processes. The simplicity of choice. Realizing that we can choose our reactions to challenges simplifies the complex task of managing stress and emotional turmoil. This simple yet powerful understanding can guide us towards more constructive responses and healthier mental states. For instance, adopting the, quote, "I choose how to react to my challenges," end quote, mindset Well, that shifts the focus from feeling victimized by circumstances to taking active control over our responses. This shift empowers us and reduces the overwhelming feelings often accompanying difficult situations. To incorporate this understanding into daily life, well, simple practices like daily affirmations or thought replacement strategies can be highly effective. For example, starting the day by affirming, "Today I choose to respond with calm and clarity." This sets a tone of intentionality. Similarly, replacing negative thoughts with positive ones, such as turning, quote, "I can't handle this," into, quote, "I will do my best to manage the situation," well, it can gradually change our habitual responses to stress. These simple techniques are easy to implement and anchor our day-to-day experiences in a mindset that promotes resilience and emotional well-being. By regularly practicing these strategies, we reinforce the power of simplicity in transforming our mental landscape, making it more manageable and aligned with our desired outcomes. Now, this approach not only makes coping mechanisms more accessible, but also demonstrates how small changes in thought can lead to significant shifts in our overall quality of life. Embracing mental freedom. Recognizing that thoughts are just one component of our mental landscape can significantly broaden our approach to mental health. By understanding that our thoughts do not solely define us, we open the door to a more flexible and balanced perspective on our inner experiences. This recognition can lead to greater mental freedom and a more holistic view of ourselves. Mental compartmentalization is one strategy that can help us manage this complexity. It involves consciously separating different aspects of our thoughts and feelings to avoid being overwhelmed. For example, by classifying work-related stress, we can prevent it from infiltrating our personal lives, allowing us to maintain emotional stability across different areas. Focusing on actionable steps offers practical tools for navigating life's challenges. Instead of becoming bogged down by overwhelming thoughts and worries, well, we can direct our energy toward concrete actions like budgeting or finances, or developing a step-by-step plan to solve a problem. This approach provides a clear path forward and enhances our sense of control and efficacy. By incorporating these tools, we not only gain the ability to compartmentalize effectively, but also empower ourselves to take actionable steps in the face of challenges. In embracing the concept of freedom from thought, we learn to treat our thoughts as tools rather than constraints. This shift improves our mental health and expands our capacity to engage with the world more productively and positively. Practical steps transforming insights into daily habits. As we understand the influence of thoughts on our mental well-being, it becomes vital to incorporate these insights into our daily routines, ensuring that practices like mindfulness and cognitive restructuring are not just theoretical concepts, but embedded habits allows for lasting changes in our emotional health. To achieve this integration effectively, it's helpful to establish simple daily rituals that anchor these practices in our lives. For instance, mindfulness can be woven into everyday activities such as drinking your morning coffee, where you consciously savor each sip, or during your daily commute, where you might focus on the sensations of your body rather than letting your thoughts wander unchecked. Environmental cues can also be powerful reminders to engage in these mental practices. Placing sticky notes with affirmations or mindful prompts around your workspace or your home, well, it can prompt you to pause and reframe your thoughts. Similarly, setting reminders on your phone can encourage you to take brief mindful breaks throughout the day. Community engagement is another crucial aspect. Participating in or even forming mindful groups can offer support and motivation. Sharing experiences and strategies with others reinforces your practice and deepens your understanding and commitment. Technology offers additional support. Numerous apps are designed to guide users through mindful exercises, cognitive restructuring tasks, or provide daily affirmations. Now, these tools can be handy for beginners needing structured guidance to cultivate these habits. Lastly, regular reflection is essential. Dedicating time each week or month to reflect on your mental health practices, challenges faced, and progress helps fine-tune your approach. It encourages a proactive stance on mental health, ensuring the practices evolve with your personal growth and life challenges. Now, by embedding these practices into your daily life, you can transform fleeting moments of insight into a sustained journey of personal development and emotional resilience. This practical integration is key to making the theoretical aspects of cognitive and mindfulness practices a living part of your everyday reality, leading to a more balanced and fulfilling emotional life. Well, folks, I hope that episode was of some use to you, that you found it informative, and you can use it some way to benefit yourself. And if you know someone else who could benefit from it, please send it to them. I'd appreciate that. I'm looking very much forward to our sojourn together through Season 6. As Season 6 unfolds, I have a number of brilliant guests lined up for you guys who will speak to innovation and creativity, to organizational resilience and cultural changes, to film, to the medical world, to neurosciences, and a host of really cool authors about subjects they delve into. And I get the opportunity to explore and to discover and share those insights with you. And so I look forward to this new season with you guys. And as usual, if you have any feedback, any comments, please send them my way. I don't share them on the show that often, but when I read them and I unpack those emails or those instant messages or however it shows up, it really heartens me. It really motivates me to continue this podcast because I see how much it affects people and such great feedback. I really appreciate it. And I also appreciate the constructive criticism of how I can improve the show. So keep on listening. As you know, I launch these podcasts every Monday morning. So I look forward to that consistency and predictability for you guys. So just to let you know, to share some stats, this podcast has reached out to 122 countries and cities, 1,737. How this podcast and the episodes reaches all of you, I don't exactly understand it, but I am very thankful. And so part of any podcast, and maybe some of you are podcasters out there, is learning how difficult it is to increase listenership. So to you, dear loyal listeners who are listening to my voice wherever you may be in this world right now, if you could hit that rate and review button in your podcast app, you'd be doing me a great favor. And please share an episode with 2 friends, 2 family, 2 colleagues. Well, anyways, enough of me prattling on. I will see you next Monday as we continue this conversation. And until then, keep well, keep strong, and we'll speak soon.